Up to 50% off Inovia wheels.
Up to 35% off 1552 wheels.
Up to 15% off airlift performance. You can finally afford it.
And many, many more. You can check it out all over at fitmentindustries.com.
All right, from Wisconsin to Virginia, we traveled to hang out with our guys from Gears and Gasoline. Excited to be here. Thanks for having us, Ben. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming to the middle of nowhere in Virginia.
Absolutely. We're used to the middle of nowhere, so it's awesome. We're going to do a little bit of a garage tour today. We're going to check out what cars you guys have here and what you're currently working on. I'm super excited. I used to have an Evo 10 back in the day, so let's dive into the Evo 10 right away.
Okay. This is an Evo 10.
Oh, cut.
There you go.
All right, first things first, I know this is a beast of a car, and I'm really interested to see what's done under the hood.
Okay.
Let's see it.
I have done nothing of it. This is how I
This
bought
is
it.
bought, not built?
This is bought built, actually.
Bought built, okay, got it.
So this is a MA Performance short block and the stage 2, I think it is, head with a Garrett GTX 3582.
That's a big turbo.
It is way too big because it spools really late. That turbo could make a lot more power on this.
Yeah.
It only makes 700.
Only 700?
Yeah, it could probably make like 800, 850 with the way it is, but I don't think the drivetrain could take it, so I want to do a smaller turbo, honestly.
Get it
we
spool
could
up
probably
quicker?
we could probably do like a G30 900 and still make the same power, but I don't know. Still playing with the numbers and doing the math.
For sure. Yeah, I know you're dabbling between keeping, selling it, all that kinds of stuff. Do you have any future plans for the engine, or are you going to kind of leave it the way it is?
If I were to buy a stock Evo 10 and build it up to make a lot of power, this is exactly how I'd do it, so I'm going to leave it.
Dang, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you think pretty reliable setup at 700 wheel?
I mean, I haven't driven it around a ton, but I think so. The engine's got 7,000 miles on it.
Okay.
So it's not like
pretty fresh.
Brand new, but it's yeah. So I mean, I don't think there's no issues. There was like a small leak in the transmission, like T-case to the transmission Evo stuff.
Evo stuff, absolutely.
It was just like an O-ring, and that's the only thing I've had wrong with it. So.
Well, knock on wood, good deal. Now let's get into the nitty gritty a little bit. Let's talk about the wheels, tires, and suspension on this puppy. All right, I know we did a little bit of a swap. What do we got going on here? You had some beautiful works.
These are the old wheels that were on it. These are beautiful, but the barrels are kind of corroded, a little old, a little aged.
Yeah, they were beautiful.
They weren't fully cared for, but they're also super heavy.
These are heavy as hell. Now, yeah, these are two-piece forged, but they are thick.
Yeah, and they're pretty wide, 11 and a half. So, yeah. These are 29 pounds.
29 pounds per wheel.
Yeah.
Hot damn.
So I'm a track guy. I like my cars to be light. I know Evo 10 is kind of impossible to get light, but I'm doing my best.
They are thick boys like me.
Yeah, so I got some Volk ZE40s on there, and these things weigh 20.
20?
20.
So you're able to cut a bunch of weight just by swapping the wheels.
Like 36 pounds of rotational unsprung weight taken off the car. Same tire. I actually took the tires off that and put them right on these.
Oh, and they got that nice, beefy, meaty fitment that we like to see. They fill out the fenders well. You're not running any spacers on this either?
No spacer in the front. There is a spacer in the rear because of the whole wide body thing. I'd have to have weird offsets.
That's what I was going to ask, yeah.
These wheels are 18 by 10 and a half, so an inch smaller than that. And if I decide that I don't want the wide body, you can actually fit these under the stock body with a little bit of camber and a smaller tire, which is kind of why I went with them, because I'm like, if I decide to take the wide body off, I can keep the wheels because I love these wheels.
Yeah, I gotta say too, I'm digging the bronze on the red. It actually turned out really good. I was gonna say, it's tough to move away from these. They fit the car really well, but now already you've put like your own little personal touch on it, and you can see it's starting to transform just a little bit just by swapping the wheels out.
Yeah, it's getting there. Obviously, there's still a bunch of stuff that I need to take care of, some fender cracking and fitment issues and some paint issues.
You'll have that.
We're getting there.
These are getting to be collectible cars now.
Yeah.
They're antiques. So. All right, what do we got for suspension on this?
It's on Öhlins.
Öhlins?
Yeah.
Dang.
But they're also like 8 years old, so they need to be rebuilt. Yes, Öhlins.
That was
yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah. So they probably need to get rebuilt. And there's also like somebody changed out this screw on the top.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
They're getting a little crusty. Yeah.
So do you think you'll rebuild them, or will you go with a new coilover?
I'm gonna, we usually go with Fortunato, because Fortunato coilovers
Yes,
are awesome.
that's what I run too.
But since this car already has Öhlins, I think I'm just gonna either rebuild these or put new Öhlins on it, just to kind of taste the rainbow.
Absolutely. I think that's a big thing that a lot of people don't take advantage of, is a lot of coilovers nowadays are rebuildable. Fortunatos, you can send them in, have them completely rebuilt. Öhlins, BCs, you can all send those coilovers in, have them completely refinished. Obviously, it's gonna cost a little bit of change, but it's not like buying a new set of Öhlins or buying a new set of Fortunatos or anything like that. So that's cool that you're gonna keep them alive, and I'm sure when you get them rebuilt, they'll look brand new.
I don't know if I'm gonna keep them alive just because of time, so I might just buy a new set anyway.
He lied to me. Now I look like an idiot.
But you can!
That's the important part. Cool. And then do you think you'll keep it about this height? You said, I think when we were talking earlier, you're running into a little bit of rubbing issues?
The rear has the stock body under it. It hasn't been cut out for the wide body.
Interesting for a wide body.
Yeah, because, well, I'm kind of happy because then it's like if you want to take the wide body off, you can.
Yeah, which usually doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, I kind of like the wide body. I might leave it, but also I don't know if I have the heart in me to cut out the, I just can't, I don't know.
I feel like if you're gonna keep the wide body, you just gotta cut it.
Yeah.
I have one more question, because coming from this platform, I got it all the time. People tell me this is not a real Evo. It has the 4B11, not the 4G63. What are your thoughts now that, I know you haven't owned it for a long time or anything, but what are your thoughts on the whole 4G63 versus 4B11 debate?
I'm not a purist. I have a K-swapped RX-7.
I'm asking the wrong guy.
I don't really, whether it's a real Evo or not, I think this is maybe not as good as an Evo 9 because it's a little heavier, a little bigger.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with being a little heavier. It's smooth cruising. It's just not quite as fast on track. So,
I was gonna say, some of us are a little bigger, a little heavier, but all right, cool. Sounds good. Thanks, Ben. Now I think it's time to check out other Ben's MR2 with gels.
All right, Ben, so we just got done interviewing Ben on his Evo. Now, we got a little bit of a unique little guy sitting right here. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what you got going on here.
This is my mint condition, 2000, I think it's a 2000, I'm actually not 100% sure. 2000, 2001.
Okay.
Toyota MR2 Spider, the MRS.
This ain't no normal MR2, is it?
No, it's not. Yeah, actually when I bought it, it was really not normal. It was the most bizarre, like, bunch of parts store mods that you've ever seen. Just like horrible, horrible, horrible stuff. So I took all that stuff off, and then I wanted it to just be like a nice little track beater.
Yeah.
So I used the 1ZZ 1.8 liter, made 107 horsepower, we dynoed it. And then that motor eventually blew up on the track.
Oh no, there she goes! Oh no!
There's a guy named Mark who has a company called Frankenstein Motorworks in Indiana,
Yep.
kind of near you guys. He does crazy Toyota swaps into MR2s, and he had this new swap that he wanted to like just get some coverage on. So he came down here and we did the swap in like 5 days.
And what did you end up swapping in here?
So it is a Toyota Camry hybrid engine.
Yes.
So if you want to look at it, we can just...
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's take a look at this puppy.
Sure. So it looks kind of stock.
Like, yeah, it doesn't look like out of place at all. Like if I,
Right.
just like didn't know MR2s, like, yeah, that's what
It's
it
not
is.
too flashy. Yeah, like the cold air intake is probably the flashiest part about it. Or, I mean, it's not really even a cold air intake.
Sure. So, out of a Camry, you said?
Yeah, this is a 2013, I think, Camry hybrid motor. So it's called a 2AR FXE.
Okay.
The FXE is what denotes it as the hybrid engine.
Gotcha. Now, is there a reason with the hybrid engine specifically?
Yeah, so there's two versions of the 2AR engine. So one came in like the second gen Scion TC.
Okay.
And then this one, the FXE, came in like all the hybrid stuff.
Gotcha.
So both 2.5 liter engines, but the difference is this is like an Atkinson cycle engine, so it runs very, very efficiently.
Sure.
And this one actually made less horsepower than like the Scion TC version. This made like 150 horsepower stock in the Camry.
Gotcha.
But this is high compression, so it's 12.5 to 1.
Oh, man, okay.
Yeah. And then he does like a bunch of crazy stuff that he figured out. Like, so you take the intake cam and you just get another one and you put it on the exhaust side because it's and then you put another VVT, like variable valve timing cam gear on the exhaust side, and then you just like advance and retard the timing on both of them, and then you make 230 horsepower on E85.
It's just, how the hell does someone figure something like that out?
By being an engineer.
I guess.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No, that's absolutely awesome. And,
Yeah.
and so you said, how much is it making right now?
Yeah, so on pump gas 93, which is what we have on the East Coast, it'll make 220 wheel.
Okay.
And then on the same dyno that it made 107 on the 1ZZ, and then on E85 it'll make another 10, so it makes 230.
So that is a nice little bump from the 105, 107 that you were rocking
real
beforehand.
nice bump. Yeah, I did the math yesterday. It's 215% of stock horsepower.
On a light little car, that's a huge difference.
So this with this engine setup, and also like pretty gutted on the inside.
And what's nice too is you're not like sacrificing a whole bunch either, because it's not like you're dumping like a huge heavy motor into it. So you're not sacrificing like weight distribution and all that kind of stuff. So it's like you get a very similar setup, but with double the horsepower.
I think this weighs like 50 pounds more than the stock engine, which is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like almost one wheel difference over there. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
No, that's absolutely incredible. What else you got done to it for like suspension setup? Anything else done to it to kind of make it handle a little better?
Sure, yeah. So it's we got Fortunato coilovers, Fortunato 510s.
510s, perfect.
You know, we're a huge fan of Fortunato. This is my 4th set, and then I've got one more set for my S2000, so that'd be my 5th set. Yeah, they've been fantastic. Put like 50 laps at VIR on the setup before the engine blew up. We've got, I'm like a total Advan like devout. I'm trying to come up with like
Advan addict?
Yeah, a PC term. Yeah, yeah, an Advan addict. That's a good way of putting it. So I have Advan TC4s on here, the little 15 inchers.
Little baby.
So those are, you know, like they're like the Advan GT, but they're the cast version.
Sure.
And I think those are 15 by 8.5, like plus 35 or something like that.
Gotcha.
You guys are Fitment Industries, so I apologize for the lack.
You know, I'll let her slide. All right, I'll let her slide.
The big thing is that like it's all stock geometry suspension.
Sure.
So the more I lower it, honestly, the worse it's probably gonna handle.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's something I learned on my Evo. Is like you need, if you don't like change the geometry of like the drop knuckles and stuff like that, or like get drop knuckles to lower everything, then it's not necessarily gonna handle better. Yeah, it's got little what are these tires? Nankang CR1s, missile track tire.
Perfect.
But yeah.
Cool. So like any other future plans sort of thing, or is it kind of just like kind of go as you kind of roll with the punches kind of thing?
Yeah, I want to just like, no one has really done, not many people have these swaps. I think there's maybe like a dozen or 2 dozen, you know, like done like in the world kind of. So I'm really excited to get to like just take it to the track now, because I drove for the first time on the street like 2 days ago, just up and down the road, just to see if it would like fall apart. But yeah, I'm really excited to take it to the track and thrash it and see what breaks, and you know, what kind of lap times we do.
Yeah, no, that's an absolutely cool, very unique style build. Sounds like it's gonna be a ton of fun for you. Yeah, thanks for walking through with us.
Really of course.
All right, thank you guys so much for letting us check out a few of your builds. It's an absolute pleasure to come down here. You guys have some of the most unique and interesting stuff going on, I swear, of any YouTube channel. They're always doing something wild, so if you haven't, I'm sure you already have, but go check out Gears and Gasoline, subscribe, check those guys out. If you're ever in Virginia, be on the lookout for a crazy MR2 and the 700 horsepower Evo that should be making 800 apparently. So thank you guys, we'll talk to you later. Don't forget wheels, tires, suspension, fitmenthistories.com.